Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development program, and in particular the AWD 1111.NET framework with web databases class, I've been going through a series, or created a series, of video presentations based on the book that will be used for the class for the fall 2019 semester. The book is shown on the screen here, is Pro-ASP.NET MVC 5, an A-Press text by Adam Freeman. And when you look on here, I did chapters 1 through 12 with little to no problem. 13 problems, so I kind of skipped that one. And I've done 14, 15, 16, and 17, which, as you can see, puts me to chapter 18. Alright, so that's the one we'll do next. One of the largest chapters in the book. Alright, a very complex chapter, and I've decided to approach this one just a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is the chapter, as you can see here, is entitled Filters. Alright, but before we go into it, I found this article I thought was pretty good from C#corner.com. And it was called Filters in ASP.NET MVC. So, ASP.NET MVC filters are used to inject or add extra logic at different levels of MVC request processing. Filters provide a way for cross-cutting concern, logging, authentication, and caching. Well, types of filters and their sequence of execution. As mentioned here, there's basically 4 or 5 types of major filters in ASP.NET MVC 5. The first are authentication filters, and note they run before any other filter or action method. They confirm that you are or are not a valid user. And action filters for authentication implement the IO authentication filter interface. Okay? Once you're authorized, meaning that you're a valid user, then we've got authorization filters. And they're responsible for checking user access. In other words, you have been authenticated, so you're an authentic user, but what information are you authorized to see? It said these implement the IO authorization filter interface. Third are action filters. An action filter, as it says there, is an attribute you can apply to a controller action or an entire controller. The filter is called before and after the action method starts executing and after it has executed. These implement the iAction filter interface. Fourth, we have result filters. And as mentioned, these implement the iResult filter interface. They contain logic that's executed before and after a view result is executed. Finally, we've got exception filters. And as it says, these implement the iException filter interface and execute if there are any unhandled exceptions thrown during the execution pipeline. All right. So I just wanted to very quickly, and I hope that that's what that was considered to be, very quickly go over that, and also just, again, very quickly put this up here. So that's the URL if you're at all interested. I'll leave it up there for just a second. All right. And if I break that down and just grab C#corner.com, I don't remember if this is the one or not. I'll check. Nope, that isn't it. But they have a series of articles on ASP.NET MVC 5. I know they do. Okay. That might be it there. Getting started with MVC5. I don't remember. Okay. Let's jump into the book because I've already spent 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes on this. All right. So, as we've already seen earlier, filters inject extra logic into MVC framework request processing. They provide a simple and elegant way to implement cross-cutting concerns, meaning the functionality used all over an application that doesn't, kind of a jack of all trades type of thing. Classic examples, it says, are logging, authorization, and caching. In this chapter, we're shown the different categories of filters, how to create and use custom filters, how to control their execution. So, according to this, there's 54 pages in the chapter. You can see what's all in here. There's a lot. So let's prepare the example project, and maybe that's all we'll do here for part 1. All right, we want to prepare an MVC project from the filters, from the empty template called filters, and a home controller. So let's create a new project. It will be called filters. I will put it in the solution name. No, it's Chapter 18. All right. It'll be empty with the MVC folder framework. And there we go. And the author says on the bottom of page 483 that he's also created a home controller which will have the action method shown in figure 18.1. I'm only focused on controllers in this chapter, so I return string values from the action methods rather than action result objects. This has the effect of causing the MVC framework to send the string value directly to the browser, bypassing the Razor engine. So again, we've seen this before. We are going to be using the controller as both a controller and as a view. All right. We're still running good on time. We're at 8 minutes, so get rid of that. I don't think we really need that anymore either. Later in the chapter, the author will be demonstrating how you can use a new MVC feature called Authentication Filters. For that, we need to be able to perform simple user authentication. As explained in Chapter 12, the author does not cover the underlying security features in this book, but APress will freely distribute the security chapters from, if we want that. So in order to demonstrate, we're going to use the same approach, Chapter 12, and define static user credentials in web config. So let's go into web config. Let's find at the bottom of system web, let's see if we've got any authentication stuff in here. Looking very quickly, I did not see any. Let's do this, Control H. Authentication, nope. All right, so let's go right down to the bottom of our system web and put in this. So what do we have? Authentication form equal modes, the login URL, how long till timeout. I think we said that was 48 hours. Credentials, we're going to show in a clear format. And again, very simply, we've got a user with a password of secret and an admin with a password of secret. So we've defined two users, user and admin, and assigned them both the same password. All right, we're using Forms Authentication once again, and we have used the login URL attribute to specify that unauthenticated requests should be redirected to the /account/login URL. We are to create an account controller. And that is shown on the bottom of page 484 and the top of page 485. Right. To create the view that will gather candidate credentials, create a Views Shared folder, right-click it, and choose Add MVC5 Razor Page. Make a login CS HTML. All right. So Views, come in here and add a folder called Shared. Come into the Shared, right mouse click, Add New Item. Go to MVC. I think it was View Page Razor, but let's double check. Yep. This will be called Login, and we're going to put in the information that you see right here. All right, and again, we will put in that information rather than what is currently being shown in there. All right.
How are we doing today, Mr. Scott?